Fraser Valley home prices look like they might finally be leveling off after 11 months of price declines. Could this be the start of a more stable market? I'm Irene, your local realtor here in my community of Mission, BC, where I've been helping people just like you buy and sell for the last 20 years. And this is your Mission Real Estate Market Update for March 2026. The stats are in, and we're going to take a quick look at what's happening across the Fraser Valley, and then we'll do a deep dive into what's actually happening right here in our community of Mission, BC. Let's get into it. In March, the Fraser Valley benchmark price moved up just 0.3%. Not much at all. Now, the real estate board is calling it an improvement in affordability. In other words, buyers have a bit more breathing room, and sellers feel a little bit more pressure. Now, sales did pick up, which is typical for the start of the spring market, but we're still below where we were this time last year. Active listings continue to build and are now sitting at 50% above the 10-year average. So while prices may be stabilizing, the overall balance hasn't really shifted. Buyers are still firmly in control. Now let's take a look at what's happening in our community of Mission, BC. Here in Mission, we saw 37 sales across all property types. Now, that's not exactly the fast-moving market that was forecasted for 2026, but considering everything that's going on in the world right now, at least it's not worse. Prices are holding steady month over month, and inventory is climbing, and that's not a huge surprise considering we've just stepped into the spring market. Now, let's get into the details and see what's actually moving and what's not. Starting out with detached homes, here in Mission, we saw a benchmark price of $955,200. And that's almost the same as last month, actually an uptick of 0.7%. Now, year over year, it does tell a different story. We are down by 9%. And as you can see from the graph here, that's showing a $94,700 difference between last March and this March. So be aware, that's where it is, and hopefully we'll see some more stability in the next coming months. Now for sales, we are up from February by 42.9%. However, it's still down from last year this time by 3.2%. Not a terrible amount, but it's not as quick as what we were expecting. Active listings are coming in at 256, and that's up month over month by 12.8% and up only by 4.9% year over year. As of March, we have 8.5 months of inventory, and the median days on market comes in at 32. From the sales that I've been seeing, it's taking about 35 to 75 days right now to sell a property. So if you are planning on listing, keep that in mind. Now, taking a look at what actually sold. Now, under 500,000, we had two, and these were two very nice mobiles, modestly priced, just under $400,000. Detached 500 to 900,000, we had 12 sales. And what you're seeing here are some nice modest homes, nice big yards, good neighborhoods, and the majority of these, actually 10 of them, are all under 800,000, and they are bigger homes and slightly newer. Now, 900,000 to 1.2 million, we had 7 sales. And as you can see here, here they are, nice properties, a little bit newer, well, quite a bit newer than what we saw in the lower price range. Some good sales. And as you can see, every single one of them does have a reduction from the original sale price. Now, between 1.2 million and 1.5 million, we saw 6 properties sell. And these are, again, we're getting into bigger properties, not necessarily bigger lot size. Some of these are coming in with smaller lot sizes, simply because they're in newer subdivisions. Now, what I want you to take a look here is that we've got one here with a price reduction from the original price of $275,000. So that's telling you what's happening in the market. Everybody's entitled to try, and that's what it looks like happened here. But he did see the light, so to speak, the seller. And now between 1.5 million and over, there were 3 sales, some beauties. Here, a larger acreage, one beautiful views. And then my favorite one that I've admired for a very long time, a sprawling rancher on an acre of land. And yeah, took 37 days to sell. Looking at townhomes, we had a benchmark price of $650,000, and that's pretty much the same as February of this year, but it is down by 2% from last year. As you can see by the graph, it hasn't been that sharp a decrease, but still you're looking at a difference of $13,500 between this year and last year in March. And then we go into sales. And sales were down from February, and they're down by 33.3%, so that's 3 units. But similar, almost the same as last year this time, so no real change there. Active listings are at 48 right now, and that's up by 14.3% from February, and up year over year by 14.3%. If we take a look at what's sold, you'll see here we've got several of them that are newer, and then one that's just under 10 years old. Beautiful properties, great value in townhomes. I really haven't seen prices this low in quite some time. And moving on to apartments, we had a benchmark price of $427,000, and that's the same as last month. However, it is down by 6.5% from last year. And taking a look at the graph here, that comes out to a difference of $29,500 from last year to this year. And sales, well, we just had one condo sale this month. That brings the number down by 75%. And last March we saw 4. So definitely a slower month for condos this year. And we have 48 active listings. That's up by 37.1% from last month, typical for the spring season. And then down by 11.6% from last year. And if we take a look at the apartments, a very nice unit here on Raven Avenue that sold just over $500,000. Well, it's been a slow start to the spring market, not what was forecast earlier in the year. We're still dealing with the same conditions we had: high inflation, interest rates that haven't moved in months, and a global economy that remains unpredictable. It's likely that we will see more stability, at least that's what I'm hopeful for. Now, at this point, it doesn't look like much is going to change, at least not in the coming months. If you are thinking about making a move, or you're just curious about the value of your home, you'll find my contact information in the description box below. Give me a call. I'd love to talk. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.